Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1167.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about the markets being in extreme fear and what that really means and why that can actually be somewhat positive, believe it or not. Now, first of all, everything has gotten so crazy. And yesterday, Moody's, the rating agency, put First Republic and 5 U.S. banks on a downgrade watch. They downgraded Signature Bank to junk status. And what's crazy about that is that Forbes magazine rated Silicon Valley Bank, the one that was just taken over by the Fed over the weekend, as the 20th best bank in America just a month ago. And Moody's, the rating agency, gave them an A rating 2 weeks ago. So obviously, the financials are changing quickly. Things are happening. A run on the bank happened at Silicon Valley Bank, which I talked about in the last podcast. There's a lot going on. And we obviously don't want contagion in the banking system. But a lot of money has started to move around. Some of that money has moved to larger banks, which are the too big to fail banks, of which there are about 4. And money has also moved into crypto. So what are we seeing now? We're seeing a massive bull market in crypto. And not just Bitcoin, the altcoins as well. Many altcoins moving much more than how much Bitcoin has moved. People want to know where is a safe place for their money, and money is going to be moving like crazy. That in and of itself creates some instability in the financial system because nobody knows how many deposits they're going to have at the end of the week or the month. Is the regional bank going to have the same amount of deposits that it had a month ago? Or are their deposits going to be moving to a larger bank? And the larger banks, are they going to have the deposits that they thought? Or is a lot of that money going to be flowing out to crypto? Then, if interest rates start to trend down and we start seeing a reflection of that in the mortgage rate, some of that money will also flow into real estate. So the markets being in extreme fear isn't just an emotion. It also explains a lot of the activity that's happening. Now, as investors, an important thing for us to do is to take the emotion out of investing. We really don't want to be emotional with our money. We don't want to be panic buying or panic selling. We don't want to be panic moving money. We want to be thoughtful with what we're owning and why. We want to have a strategy for what we do and an asset allocation model for how much money you put in different things and how you diversify and reduce risk. That's what you want to have. But one thing I know after many years of investing is extreme fear brings great opportunities. And one of my favorite opportunities right now has to do with XRP. XRP being a cryptocurrency that can move assets in seconds, which is scalable and costs a fraction of a penny. It's trustless, meaning you don't have to have a bank as an intermediary to be able to send the money. And it has such a head start because it has over 300 financial institutions that are already using the technology. Now, on March 20th, we have an important changeover happening with the ISO 20022 cryptos. ISO stands for International Standards Organization, and they standardize the way things are done. In this case, we're talking about messaging between computers that are sending money. And it's already been estimated that over 80% of high-value transactions will be done using ISO 20022 cryptos. But XRP's price has been held down for 2 years because of a bogus lawsuit from a corrupt SEC. And I say that because we've heard some inkling of what is in the SEC emails, but no, they haven't been published yet. So we haven't seen it with our own eyes. We've only heard it from people who have seen those emails. This case with the SEC and Ripple is not only important for Ripple and XRP, but it's also important for the entire crypto industry. So you're able to invest in an asset like XRP at reduced prices because the lawsuit has effectively acted like a cloud on title, which has made it difficult for you to own it. And it hasn't had clarity. But should we get clarity, maybe even by the end of March, the price will likely take off and not look back. So when I look at incredible investing opportunities right now, XRP is at the top of my list. And since people really need a way to get their money working for them again and to get their net worth built back up, this is an important strategy for people to consider. Not only could the winning of the lawsuit be a positive for XRP, but also being added back to multiple exchanges that took it off and made it more difficult to buy it, institutions being able to come in and purchase XRP, which haven't been able to invest in it, Ripple to get more banking clients, especially in the US, who might have been hesitant because of the lawsuit, and finally, a potential Ripple initial public offering for their stock. All of those things would be incredibly positive for Ripple and for XRP. With 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck and not being able to save money and barely making ends meet, something like XRP that has no minimum to invest and can be acquired at 37 cents can be very attractive to investors. Now, this is something you want to do more research on. I'm not giving investment advice, but I did write all about it in my 3 Steps to Quantum Wealth, the Wealth Heiress's Guide to Financial Freedom by Investing in Cryptocurrencies. So if you want to know the bull case for XRP, for ISO 20022 cryptos, I wrote it all in there. And I wrote about why I believe crypto will outperform the stock market. Historically, this has already been true, but also because we're on the verge, the very edge of the quantum age, where we're going to have flying taxis, we're going to have high-speed trains, artificial intelligence is going to be running in many different situations. Robotics is coming in a big way. These are trends that we are right on the doorstep of. And their growth rates are incredibly high. And investing in technology, look what that's done for the last 25 years that we've had some of those high-tech companies to invest in. They've created fortunes. And now we're on to the next leg of that. We're on to the next generation, the Internet of Value, using the Internet to send money and to do it efficiently, less expensively, and much more easily. But you have to know how to do it. You have to store it properly. You have to take all the precautions to take care of your crypto. And there is a steep learning curve to learning all about it and how to do it. And that's where I'm really grateful that I've been able to help my VIP members to overcome all of that and be there to answer questions. So while there's so many doom and gloomers out there, there's so many people calling for huge recession, depression, another leg of the stock market down, I'm not seeing that. I believe the October lows will hold. We may go down and test them again, but I do believe this is one of the best investing opportunities I've seen in a long time. The yield curve, which was inverted, meaning longer-term rates were lower than shorter-term rates, has just re-inverted, meaning it now looks like a regular yield curve. Why? Probably because the Fed is getting closer to the end of their tightening cycle. Not just because of this bank contagion that is spreading and will spread more now that Moody's is downgrading some banks and putting them on watch lists, but also because of that lag time that I talked about. Once the Fed started raising rates a year ago, there was a lag time until that started to show up in the data. And now, with the bank contagion also causing extreme fear, 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, and all this emotion that's out there, I think people just aren't sure what to do. I think the thing to consider is to look at investing in undervalued assets, something that has been held down for a couple of years through no fault of its own, through an outside lawsuit that was bogus, that was thrown onto it, and then that employee left the next day. I won't go into all the gory details of the corruption surrounding the people that brought the case against Ripple, but I will say I do believe Ripple will be vindicated, and I do believe that investors in XRP will be rewarded for their patience. We've heard that the cryptocurrencies that have real utility, that is, those that solve real problems, that have real customers, that have cutting-edge technology that's being used, are going to be the winners in the digital asset space. And I believe that to be true. Most of these digital assets are not going to survive. Many of them are just for speculation. That's not what we want to invest in. We want to invest in real technology with real customers that is generating profitability and is going to be a leader in the long term in this next leg of the internet revolution. And that's exactly what I think Ripple has with XRP. So whether you invest as a crypto investor and invest in XRP, or if you're an accredited investor and you invest in Ripple stock, do your homework to further see if it's right for you. But if it is, this is the time, I think, that is an amazing buying opportunity. In hindsight, I believe we'll look back and say, wow, this was the last great opportunity right in here. We may not have seen the lows. We could go lower on XRP. There could be something that spooks the market. That always can happen. But if you have a 3 to 5 year time horizon and you have some money to invest, use this as a starting point to do your research and see if you don't agree about the investment potential that's waiting for you. If you've been wanting to find a way to dig yourself out of that lack of funds for retirement, starting to save late for retirement, how are you going to get your act together for the future? I think this deserves your attention. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.